In this video, I'm going to talk to you about kind of measuring and how to stack bowls. It is a 5 to 7 stacking bowl vase. Again, the reason why on that is usually you need an odd number on it because the way that you kind of end it. And I'll kind of explain that in the drawing here a little bit. There are several ways you can do it. This one I'm going to show you is a little more complicated, but you have a lot more control over it, and you can anticipate how good it's going to look kind of in the end. So one thing that'll be kind of added onto this, and check with me because things always change, is I'm going to say that it should also be a minimum of 16 inches on that. So that's also something that we're going to be kind of looking at. So I have a scrap sheet of paper. I have a pen, but try to use a pencil so you can erase your stuff. I also have a ruler and I have a yardstick over here as well to give me a good idea, in terms of, what sizes are. Looking at this one, this is kind of a nice little reference in terms of, really considering, the variations, of your width on stuff, because this is a very wide top, and I would say it's almost twice as wide as this. So if this was 4 inches in diameter here, this is probably 7 to 8 diameters here, and you get this really nice kind of cool effect. Same thing down below. You have two very wide ones, and then some narrow ones, and then wide ones again. And I just think that looks really nice. And you can decide, if you want your design, different ways. And I could spend up here and just decide that, maybe I want to have this kind of shape, and it doesn't have to be like amazing. Maybe I want to have that shape, or maybe I want to have, something on top, narrows back down again, and create something that's very similar to that one. So that didn't work very well. Maybe this one has just more of a narrow top, and then maybe a wider bottom. That's really badly drawn. Or maybe I want to have a wider top and then kind of a narrow bottom. Now, this one would not work really well because it's going to be extremely tippy. So you got to be kind of careful about things like this because it's just so top heavy. Some people might decide they want to, just kind of go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, within their design. So it's up to you. And if you don't want to draw this out and you just want to throw caution to the wind, that's very normal as well. But I'm going to kind of focus in on like these right here, so I have a really good idea on what stacking is. So I'm going to draw hopefully a little nicer one out here, so I can break the design up to have a general idea what I want. Okay, so I want something to look like this. And again, my distance from top to bottom should be about 16 inches. I mean, if you're at 14 or 15, it's not that big a deal, but 16 is kind of what your goal is, on that. And you can go a little bit over it, but again, don't go, past 18. So you do have kind of like a 2-inch, margin of error, and that's kind of to help with the idea of how it shrinks. So again, be aware, that clay shrinkage is real. So let's kind of divide this up. So I have a bowl here, I have a bowl here, I have a bowl here. So remember, we need 5 to 7. So I have 1, 2, 3. So I need 4, 5. I need at least 2 more. And this is where you can also kind of mess around with your design a little bit. So my next 2 could just be cylinders, and maybe I do want to flare them out, just a little bit. And I think that'll look nice. So this is where if I had an eraser, like a pencil, I would have gotten rid of that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you can see why it has to be an odd number, because you want your top to be a nice lip, otherwise you'd have to flip. If you made an odd one, this would be upside down, and then it wouldn't work as well. An exception on that is you could get rid of this, so your lip is the very bottom, and that'll look really nice. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could have an even number if you end up doing something like this, but in this case, the foot is the foot, So, and you need at least 5 to 7, which means that if you decided you wanted to do this method, you'd have to have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you still need to have 6. Okay, so there you go. Okay, now your measurements, in terms of how high each one of these should be. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 divided by that is 3. So I want to, because that won't work. So maybe I'll do, well, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Okay, so I think this one, I'm definitely going to go over 16. So this one's going to be 3 inches, 3 inches, and this one will be 3 inches. 3, 6, 9, and then I have 7. So I'm probably going to do 4 inches and 4 inches. Because 3, 6, 9, 9 plus 8 is 17 inches. Again, this is kind of your margin of error. So this is kind of what I'm going to be going for. Okay, and that's for the height of each one. Now my width, and that's kind of why I have the ruler out here. See, I think I want to have it about 6 to 7 inches wide at the widest. And I think I'm going to go, if you remember back in year 1, you guys, your bowl size was 6 inches wide, 3 inches tall. You're basically doing your test, on this one. So I think I'm going to do this at, this peak here at 7 inches wide. This peak up here, 7 inches wide. And this one I want a lot narrower. So I think I'm going to want my base, my thickness is 7. I think I'm going to want my base 3. I think is a little too small. I think 3.5 is kind of what I'm looking at. So 3.5 here, 3.5, and this can be, I want this one a little wider. So I'll do 4 on this one. So 4. So this is 4. This is 7. This is 3.5. This right here will probably be 4. So I'm going to just taper it a little bit. 3.5 and 7. So now I have all my measurements, and I'm going to keep it as close as I can to fit this. So by having this method, while it does get a little complicated because you got to think about your height and you got to think about your width of your foot and width of your lip, you will have this fit together much better. But there's many times that you throw 7 bowls and you just see which fits, kind of thing. So whichever way you want to do. Other than that, let me know if you have any questions. Show me this before you start throwing, and good luck on the project. Thanks.